I'm Brian Winnekins at Commodity Classic, and our broadcast from Commodity Classic being brought to you by BASF, along with the Animal Wellness Center of Buffalo Valley and Annabis Silo of Durand. I'm with Lara Moody. She is with the Fertilizer Institute. She is a director with Stewardship programs. And for Pepin County and western Wisconsin and even southeast Minnesota, with all of our light soils and also our hilly terrain, we've got something that's pretty interesting from the Fertilizer Institute. And Lara, thanks for joining us. Well, tell us about this stewardship program.
Sure. The industry took on the stewardship efforts because we're very interested in being able to make sure that the end use of our products is effective, efficient, gets a good return on investment for the grower, but also really reduces the environmental impact and addresses some of the conservation challenges that we have. And so the Fertilizer Institute and the fertilizer industry are working very hard to get word out to our retail community, the agri-service providers, the certified crop advisors, those folks, as well as the growers, that doing the 4 R's, so that's applying fertilizer best management practices that address the right source, the right rate, the right time, and the right place. Doing those practices are good for the environment. They increase the sustainability of agriculture. They reduce losses, increases the return on investment for growers. All of those things are good things for the environment, for the industry, for the grower, and it's about fertilizer best management practices.
And that's the big thing. We're going to save money and make more money by doing this.
Yeah, so you mentioned that you have sandy soils in your region of Wisconsin. So from a grower standpoint, you don't want to lose that nitrogen. Nitrogen, when it gets into the soil, has the ability to transform into different things like nitrate, and so when you have nitrate in a sandy system, it's going to leach. You have the potential for it to move down into the groundwater. If it's moving to the groundwater, it's not staying at the crop where your crop needs to take it up. If it's moving to the groundwater, that's your return of investment going away. So doing practices that really address the timing, address the rate, putting it in the right place, using the right source to prevent it from moving to nitrate. Those are all practices that you can utilize to not only reduce the impact on the environment, but increase your return on investment.
Again, we are talking with Lara Moody from the Fertilizer Institute about the 4R Nutrient Stewardship Program. Now, Lara, for producers that are viewing this going, hey, I maybe like to take part in this, who should they talk with first? Would land conservation be a good spot to start maybe?
So certainly, we are reaching out to many stakeholders and audiences. We partner with organizations such as the Nature Conservancy. We also are reaching out to the soil conservation districts and NRCS. So your NRCS office or your soil conservation district would be a great place to start. When we think about nutrients moving in the environment, we know that we have to address 2 things. We have to address trying to keep it for the crop, trying to keep it in the root zone. To me, that's a prevention kind of thing. But we also have to keep it from leaving the system if it is moved out of the root zone. And I think of that more as mitigation. And those practices we traditionally think of as more of conservation management practices, like grassed waterways, like buffers, like outlets, controlling the outlets on tile drainage. Those types of practices go hand in hand with the fertilizer best management practices that we're talking about. And we're doing outreach to stakeholders, and you should certainly be able to go to your NRCS office or your soil conservation district to ask and get more information on nutrient management. Another source would be your certified crop advisor or your technical agronomist that you use, your retail facility that you purchase your products from. They also should be able to help you with fertilizer best management practices.
Finally, too, we have a competition. Someone could win a free trip to Commodity Classic next year. Tell us about that.
Yeah, so one of the things we do is we recognize that there is an outstanding opportunity to use farmers and retailers as a part of our message, to be advocates for the 4 R's. And so in doing that, we work with the retailers to nominate growers they work with who are doing a good job with the 4 R's for the 4R Advocate program. And we usually get 40 to 50 applications a year, and we select 5 of those. We select them based on their ability to do advocacy. We select them on their best management practices that they're implementing on their farm. And we select those 5 folks and bring them down with us to the Commodity Classic. We use them in our booth. We have a banquet. It's an expense-paid trip. And then they kind of do advocacy for us on behalf of the 4 R's.
That's wonderful. So for more information, they can contact you?
Absolutely. We have a website, number one, www.nutrientstewardship.org. There's information not only about the 4Rs, but about the 4R Advocate Program and other efforts that we have going on. And there's a Contact Us link on that website, and they can get to us through that route.
Laura, again, thanks for joining us.
You're welcome.
That is Laura Moody. She is with the Fertilizer Institute. And from Commodity Classic, I'm Brian Winnikins for Real Country 1430 WRD.